Hey everybody, this is Ben with SaunaMarketplace. We just finished assembling this CL5G. We documented most of the process, so figured this was a good opportunity to kind of put together how everything is assembled and what you need, some lessons that we learned, passing on some knowledge for you guys. So, one thing to note right off the bat is that the CL5G hangs over the base by about a foot on either side. The front and back are only over by about a few inches, but you want to plan your foundation for a base frame that is at least 60 inches by 60 inches. You can use a concrete pad, which is the best option when it comes to settling over time, or crushed gravel and pavers, which is what we're going to use here. We assembled this sauna in a mirror image of the instructions due to our customer's electrical constraints. So everything that you see as far as the back wall, heater installation, bench orientation, etc. is going to be flipped when it comes to the instructions. When you're leveling out your base, make sure that the tops of each paver are very even with each other. It's important that everything is level, but even more so, you want continuity within your base. Your sauna will come with a paper shipping confirmation from the distributor as well as a packing list from the manufacturer. It's important to maintain these for your records because the serial number will need to be referenced if you ever need replacement parts or specific model assistance. Your serial number will also be handwritten on the outside of your delivery packaging. After opening your shipment, take a visual inspection to make sure that all the parts you can see are in good condition. Although it is rare, please document any and all visible damage. Take inventory of the available hardware as well as any additional components required for the completion of your sauna. The base of your sauna is fairly straightforward. Using the treated 2x4 lumber included with your shipment, follow the instructions to build a square with supporting beams spaced evenly in between, making sure to check corner to corner, ensuring that your foundation is square. Now that you have your foundation built and level and sturdy and perfect, we're going to lay down this first stave. It's got these notches cut in it so that you can measure center on your base and then line up center through this slot so that you are starting from a perfect center with the very first stave. Once your center stave is in place, you're going to work your way out on either side with additional staves, making sure to place them squarely off the ends of the center stave. Now it's time to raise your vertical walls. Again, we did have to flip the orientation of this sauna, which is completely fine, but what you see here in the video is going to be opposite of what you see in the manual. The supporting wood ties across the back would normally go on the inside if you have a right side heater orientation in your sauna. The concepts, however, will remain the same. Fit each back wall panel into the tongue and groove and secure using the included scrap material. So the instructions say to secure a supporting brace across the glass front panels, but we didn't really see a reason to do that, which is why we're installing them piece by piece. If I were to do it again, I think I would follow the instructions and install the supporting brace. It really just makes it a little more difficult to move into place, but probably does a better job of keeping everything square. So do as I say, not as I do. Find center on your lower door jamb and align it with center on the floor. Once you reach the top corner of your sauna, leave a 1/4 inch gap between the stave and the vertical wall to allow for slight movement when installing the finishing staves. You can refer to this step on page 8, section 2 of your manual. Once you reach the apex of your roof, you're going to need to utilize your finishing staves and spacers, if needed, to close the gap on top. We've left a few of the last staves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, without screws to allow for a really tight fit when we tighten the ratchet straps. If you have a gap between the last 2 squared off finishing staves, you can find the right combination of spacers to close that gap. Remember, it should be tight. Once you have everything lined up like shown, use a mallet or your hand to set the roof staves flat against the vertical walls. After tightening your ratchet straps, you're ready to install the stainless steel bands. The location of the brackets is largely aesthetic, so you can decide where exactly you would like them to end up. Just make sure they're even on either side. With day 1 done, go take a break. You earned it. After installing the bench cleats per the manual height for each of the benches, place each bench on top of the cleats and secure to the sides and back wall. Secure the lower L bench section and leg to the front of the lower back wall bench frame per the instruction manual. One thing that we missed filming is the installation of the lights. So prior to installing your backrest, follow the instructions included in the lighting package to install the lights behind your backrest and then mount your backrest to the wall. The door was a little tricky to figure out, but essentially you are going to build a tight frame out of the black 2x2 pieces that are included, but wait to secure them to the door frame itself. This allows you to flush the door with the front of the sauna frame before securing it into place. After setting the door flush with the frame, you are going to secure the square 2x2 frame to the established frame on the glass front, using H screws per step 3 of the door installation. Make sure to keep the screws close to the inside of the frame so that they are covered with the provided door trim pieces, DET 21A and B, which will be installed using the black J screws per step 4. Once your door is plumb and flush to the front, install the door frame into the glass panel surround per step 5 using H screws. Once you're finished with the exterior, you can move on to the heater mounting boards, which are installed against the glass wall on the front of your sauna. You can see I'm not sinking these screws super deep. I'm not sure if it's just the kit that we got, but the screws are about a 32nd of an inch too long and poke out the other side if you drive them really, really flush. So something to be aware of. Don't drive them all the way in. Because of the shallow screw installation, I think I'm going to add an extra shorter fastener here, 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 etc. because of the weight of the heater expressed on these boards. You can see that this one board looks a little bit funky because we were short that part on our kit. So we ended up using a scrap piece of lumber to create an additional slat. I didn't flip it because those holes in the middle were already there from packaging and would be visible through the glass. None of this, however, will be visible inside due to the heater hiding these inconsistencies. The underlayment installation is fairly straightforward, with the basic concept being to get it pulled as tightly as possible against the roof of your sauna. You can use a hammer tacker or staple gun to secure it in place. You can also use your level to get it tight along the drip edge, and trim it to leave about 1/4 of an inch overhang. We stapled it to the drip edge as well to keep that corner nice and tight. To create the first layer of shingles, you're going to cut the hexagon tabs off of a set to create rectangular pieces. So I would hold up your first layer of shingles over top of your starting line before nailing. Mark where you want your nails to be so that they are hidden. It's a great way to avoid wasting shingles. Full transparency, I did this about 3 times before I got it correct. Your proper nailing pattern for these shingles. You see right there, there's one in each peak, which is what we're doing here. We got our seam overlapped, 2 shingles, ended up working out where this pretty much meets up evenly between the hexagonal cutout. So we're just gonna start it right here on the front, like so, making sure our nails are covered. And then we'll be overlaying them. That doesn't really say in the manual, but there will be enough of them you can do halfway or maybe 1/3 of the way. I think is probably what I'm gonna do. And we'll carry that all the way down to the very end. Don't forget to remove the plastic to expose your adhesive on the back. Once your shingle roof is complete, you're going to move on to the final step, trim. The biggest thing to remember about this step is that you're most likely going to need to move pieces, so don't secure anything fully until it's set in its final resting place. So you can see it barely covers on either side. It's designed to do that and sit almost flush with the top. I'm just putting one screw in now, and you want to leave it loose enough that you can pivot it a little bit, because your corner pieces will be kind of dependent on the angle of this first center piece. Yeah, that's a good place to start. I just do one screw in each until it's all set and ready to go, and then you can go back around and drive the rest of your screws. Get it a little loose so we can pivot it if we need to. Remember, the corner pieces are going to give you the most option for play. These ones not so much, because they're designed to span almost the entire curve. So we'll get our two bottom corner pieces put on, and then that'll make it pretty easy to wedge the two in from the sides and give us the opportunity to adjust if we need to. Now you can see we've got this gap down on the bottom that we can pretty easily fix because we left a bit of room by removing that and simply sliding it up so that it's a bit tighter. We still have a good gap on the side. We're still nice and even around there. That back into place. We'll go at a little bit of a different angle so that we bite into new wood. Well, that about does it. Hey, we built a sauna together. I hope this video is super helpful and inspires you to bring sauna to your own backyard. No longer does it cost an arm and a leg for a premium quality sauna as long as you buy it from a reputable dealer like SaunaMarketplace. We've got the most know-how from hands-on experience, which is pretty rare in this day and age, and promise to always give you the best possible price. We even have all the tips on how to maximize your purchase with upgrades and best practices like you see here with the mirrored layout and added upper L bench. That's not something that anyone else can offer. We really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and please like and subscribe for other sweet sauna content. And even more important than the likes and subscribes is the invite to reach out to us at SaunaMarketplace.com. We're here to help and excited to talk about your project. If you have any questions whatsoever about the CL5G or the other top-notch saunas we carry, head on over to SaunaMarketplace.com.